Hi, everybody, and welcome to Things in My Head. I'm Angel, your host. Today was kind of a funky day because normally we would have Coupon Coach Lisa on, just like I mentioned to you last week, but something happened this week in the music world, especially in the southern music world where I'm from. Cary Laine, that we have been promoting since The Voice started, got booted off the show in the battle round. Cary called me up and said, hey, let's talk about this on the show, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We've got the girl who sat in the judge's chair right after this.
Your wedding day. You've dreamed about it your whole life. You want the perfect dress, the perfect flowers. So call Bridgeport Lake Bed and Breakfast for the perfect location. Nestled on Bridgeport Lake in Texas, your dream wedding will come to life with the help of our professional wedding coordinator who can handle your perfect day as if it were her own. Make your dreams come true. Call Bridgeport Lake Bed and Breakfast 940-644-0081 or visit www.bridgeportlakebnb.com.
And we're back with Cary Laine, country music star's little darling. She is going to hit the top of the charts. Cary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
We are so excited for you because I know that things are going to really start rolling, but I want to talk to you for a second. What happened? Was Adam really the right choice for you? I mean, do you regret that decision or...
I don't regret that decision at all. I think I learned just in the short time I got to work with him, I learned kind of his approach, which is a completely different approach from mine. So I learned that, and I learned a lot. And I definitely don't regret my choice. I don't really think, I feel in my heart that it wouldn't have turned out much differently one way or the other, because honestly, most all the female country artists are gone. I think there's one, Krista Merlin, and she's more of a soul artist, but she's been performing country songs on there. So there are no female country artists left on the show at this point. I think it's kind of, they're trying to stray away from the female country artists since they've had two winners, and
Right.
They've had a little funk go on about that. So I think they're trying to go in a different direction. So I think for me, I actually gained more out of it outside of my box.
Learned a little more diversity?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't think as many people probably would have known who I am. I probably wouldn't have gotten as much press if I hadn't have gone against the grain a little. So I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, the press has been phenomenal. Since you lost the battle round, which was a big shocker, by the way, and when I watched the battle round, I noticed, and I had to watch it again to make sure, but your little son Cameron, when you were not chosen, they did a cutaway to him, and he buried his little head in Daddy's shoulder. What was his feelings? Was he just really upset?
He owed at Adam. He was like, I can't believe him. He made the wrong choice. He just made a bad decision. They all made a bad decision.
Oh.
It was like,
sounds like he is your biggest fan.
oh, he is. He is my biggest fan, for sure.
He's a sweetheart. So tell me, how do you feel this whole experience on The Voice is going to define you as an artist now? Because this is a big change for you.
It is a big change. This was something way out of my comfort zone. I've never, doing one of these shows, I have nothing against it. And I think everybody, I'm a big fan of a lot of people who've been on these shows. Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, Amber Carrington, who was on The Voice. I think Danielle Bradbury and Cassidy Pope are just amazing. So I've become fans of a lot of the people on the shows, but I've always been one of those pound the pavement, work hard kind of girls. And I just always thought it would always happen that way for me. So this was way out of my comfort zone, but I think I learned a lot. I learned a lot about showbiz and things that as an artist, you don't always think about that people tune into. Like I learned about your image and just things like that and how you come across to people. And I learned from this experience too, that the fans really dig it when they feel like they are just invested and involved. So I've learned to try to keep that vibe up, and I think that'll help along the way.
So what do you think? I know your dad worked for the Coca-Cola plant for a very long time. What do you think? Coca-Cola spokesgirl?
That would be fun. That would be cool.
I think we should contact Coke. Hey, are you listening?
There you go.
We've got your next spokesgirl right here. So let me ask you this. Now that you've done The Voice and the media storm is crazy right now, because you were just basically booted off the show on, Tuesday night. You think you're going to be going to Nashville anytime soon? Maybe doing a little writing, a little studio work, trying to get your foot in the door there?
Definitely. I've been going to Nashville and practically happily lived there since I was 14 or 15. So it's not really a new thing to me. And I've kind of in the middle, in between all this process, when I had free time, I was going to Nashville writing and all that anyway. So yeah, I'll definitely continue going up there and try to be a little more present. And, it is on our radar. It's something that we're thinking about moving in that direction. And right now, I just want to be there more and see what the response is.
Okay, so where does all this musical talent come from? Who else is musical in your family?
It's a lot God-given, but I have one of those families that they've always, I stayed a lot with all my grandparents, and my papa used to put on Hank Williams records and yodel, and we'd sing to that. And then my grandmother on my dad's side, I remember her putting on like Porgy and Bess and all this stuff and operas, and we would sing along and just be completely goofy from the time I was little. So music is just kind of in the family, and I do have some relatives that sing, and I grew up singing in church too.
I think that's a given when you grow up in the South. Everybody grows up singing in church.
That's right.
Amazing Grace, right. First song you ever learned.
That's right. Amen.
So if you had a choice, anybody in the music industry, who would you want to do a duet with on stage?
I have this mild, really safe, not too creepy obsession with Dolly Parton, and that would make my day. If I could write a song with her and sing it with her, that would just be a career high for sure. Shoot, at this point, I'd like to go to Dollywood and not stalk her, but stalk her a little and meet her.
We'd like to see you stalk her a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little.
I hear she's really sweet. So
yeah.
You might be able to get away with something like that with her. It's not a secret that you have a very strong faith. The music industry is fraught with all kinds of temptation, all kinds of obstacles, especially with people with strong faiths. Do you think you're going to be able to stay grounded? Now, you've got such an upshot of media attention right now. As the momentum gets greater, are you going to stay grounded? Is that going to be hard for you?
I think at this point, no. I'm not 15. I'm 28, and I've been married 10 years, and I have a kiddo, and this isn't just something that I just happened into. I've been making music since I was a kid, and I started playing guitar and writing songs and playing out anything from church to weddings to fraternity and sorority functions to bars to restaurants. I've kind of run the whole gamut, and festivals. I've played everywhere and met all kind of people from all walks of life. And, I feel like along the way, I've learned a lot, but I've kept true to who I am and kept my dignity and kept, just kept centered and grounded. And I think it's so important to, first of all, have been pounding the pavement and really had a taste of kind of from the ground up and not just the showbiz. So you always have that nitty gritty experience and paid your dues. I hate that term, but I feel like that's important. So you don't just take for granted everything that's happening and forget those that have helped you along the way. That's important to me because so many people have, since from the time I was little bitty, embraced me and helped me and taken chances by letting me get on stage with them when I was 14 or 15, just starting out. So I think all the experience and just that I have such a good supportive family, and shoot, they're not scared, my family and my friends, to whack me upside the head and go, excuse me, no ma'am, no ma'am, let's bring it back down to earth. So I think I have such a good network of people, and that experience and just my faith and everything makes a good combination to keep me grounded. I'm a pretty level-headed person, and like this
right.
hasn't happened overnight. It's been a lot of years of making music and meeting people, and I wouldn't change that. Like I said, I've always been more of that mindset and less the instant fame mindset.
Right.
So I try to stay humble, and I try to interact with everybody because I feel that's important.
You can go to www.thingsinmyheadblog.com. And a couple of weeks ago, we actually mentioned Cary for the first time on the show. We've been mentioning her on our Facebook page before that, but on the show, we had mentioned her, and we actually named her our role model of the year.
Aww.
We wanted to do that simply because of what Cary just said. Her faith has grounded her, and she's a very humble person, and she's a very modest young lady. When you have people out there in the entertainment industry who are not so modest, they're putting everything out there, their whole lives are out there, as well as their bodies and everything else, then you have someone like Cary Laine who comes in and just says, you know what, that's not the way I want to be. The way I want to be is I want to be someone that young women can look up to, and someone that young women would like to emulate instead, you know. And we applaud you for that. We really do. So, yeah, you're role model of the year over here at Things in My Head.
Well, thank you.
And we love you. And my family, crazy about you, girl. We're from Alabama. If my listeners don't realize that from past interviews that I've done, yeah, my hometown is Alabama. Actually, not far from where Cary grew up. So I know that you have some events. You have an event that you're going to today and playing at tonight as of this recording. What kind of events are coming up for you? Like, are we going to see you just in the bars and just on the festival circuit again? Or are you going to go back to the old, same old, or are you going to kind of up it a notch?
I think I have an obligation to myself and to all my fans and everybody that supported me through this process and before to use this momentum and really step it up a notch. I think that I have an obligation to everybody to do that. So I really plan on, as soon as I can, releasing maybe a new single, and I'd like to spread out. I'd like to do some bigger things, maybe some bigger festivals and bigger music events and things like that. But I want to explore more areas of the country because I've gained so many fans and followers from all over. So I want to spread out and I want to explore doing something, you know, that's more grassroots and that's more involves the fans. You know, I really want to kind of explore what that means and how to do that because I think it's so important. Your fans are everything to a musician. So, you know, it always hurts my feelings. It hurts my heart when, you know, you idolize somebody and you grow up listening because it's happened to me. Think somebody is so incredible and then you meet them in person and they're just like, they're not humble. And I've been to a few things where there was a meet and greet where an artist didn't want to meet and greet and didn't want to meet the fans or give them autographs. And it's still, I blush. I've had a couple of people ask me for an autograph. Like I took Cameron to the arcade the other night just to do something fun with him because he loves that. And a couple girls asked for my autograph, and I know I blushed and was probably really awkward. But you know, I'm humbled by that, and I think it's important to find ways to play things that are bigger and that not only just adults can come to, but your younger fans, your kids, and everything can come to. So I want to explore doing some things like that.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. You guys, she has a website, CaryLaine.com. You can find out all about Cary, what's coming up in the future, what kind of events you can see her at. And if you'd like to book her for an event, if you're a promoter or anything like that, you can visit her at CaryLaine.com. You can also visit www.thingsinmyheadblog.com. We're going to have her last Battle Round performance, as well as her hit single on iTunes. We're going to have a link to that. You guys can download that still. Better Dig To is up there. That was her audition, the one where she actually got to sit in the chair. Last question, what was that like? I mean, you are the only contestant ever in 6 seasons of The Voice that has ever gotten to sit in the coveted judge's chair.
It was completely surreal. It felt like a dream. It was like a blur. And it got so cut down for TV. I was sitting in those chairs 30 to 40 minutes. So
wow.
I got to enter. They cut out a lot of it. They showed pretty much most of what Blake said, and he made some good points, but they were all about other artists. Adam and actually Shakira actually took the time to talk to me about what they felt. You know, they said, you know, we feel your country, but you've got, and they were dead on, you've got some soul and some rock and blues influence. We can just hear it in your voice. And I was like, heck yeah, I do, you know? So it was really cool to get that one-on-one time and really talk with them. And I think I was blushing the whole time.
If the only thing that you had was that you're the only girl who ever sat in the judge's chair, I think for me that would be enough.
Heck yeah.
I mean, getting a hug from Adam Levine in that chair, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Cary, I want to thank you so much for contacting me and talking with me today. And this has just been such a real moment. I love that you came on our show. You're not the hype that, you know, the media is portraying all the contestants of The Voice to be, you're not that girl. And I just thank you for coming on our show and just being real with us today. I think our listeners are going to be really, really pleased to know that you are just a regular, everyday Southern girl. Everybody's got a little Southern in them, I say.
That's right. Amen. There you go. I like that. You can take the girl out of the South, but you can't take the South out of the girl.
That's right. That's right. No matter where you live. We're going to let Cary Laine go because she's got some other events that she's got to get to. And I have an announcement for you guys right after this commercial.
Guess what I just did? I just saved 80% on my grocery bill. Yup. Walked right into the store with my coupons and saved 80% at the checkout. Want to know how I did it? I went to couponcoachlisa.com and became a member for just $5. Coupon Coach Lisa has easy-to-follow tutorial videos that showed me step-by-step how to get the most savings for my grocery dollar. Oh, and this is not just a one-time thing either. CouponCoachLisa.com has taught me how to do this every time I go shopping. I've saved so much money by joining CouponCoachLisa.com. Now I can even go on a date with my husband. Get connected, stay connected with CouponCoachLisa.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I wanted to tell you before we go about the huge announcement that I kept telling you on Facebook and Twitter that we were going to make this week. Now, officially, the announcement is going to be made next week now that we've had to bump the show for Coupon Coach Lisa. She will be here next week on the show, but I wanted to let you know that there is a new podcast coming. That's right. In May, Lisa and I are going to be starting a podcast called the Coupon Podcast. So if you have ever wanted to learn how to extreme coupon in the real world instead of how they do it on TV, we're going to talk to you about that. We're going to teach you how to do that right there on the podcast. You'll be able to call in with your questions and your comments. So it's going to be a really, really good format for everybody to learn how to extreme coupon the real way. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But we're going to talk more about that with Coupon Coach Lisa next week. When she comes in, we're going to find out about what's happening with her, what's happening with her website, and what's happening in the future with this new podcast. So until then, everybody, thanks for being with us. Have a great day.